And welcome everyone to another exciting episode of The Energy That Surrounds Us. I'm your host, Michael, joined always by Carla, my
How you doing?
extraordinaire. And thank you all for coming back. I know y'all missed us last week. We missed you guys too. And as you can see, so did our intro. But we have a... Go ahead, Carla.
No, it's just always an experiment. You never know what you're going to get.
Oh, if only Forrest Gump was here.
That's right. Like a box of chocolates.
So, a lot of you fans might recognize our special guest tonight. You know her from another podcast that I'm a part of, the one, the only, Kell Ridley.
Yay!
Hello. Hi. So, did you enjoy your holidays then?
I did. How about you?
Did I enjoy your holidays?
Well, you had a holiday.
Yeah, I guess. Sitting at home. Yeah, that was my holiday.
Well, and you had a birthday.
Oh God. Yeah.
Happy birthday to you.
Don't remind us, please. Yeah, I am another year older, unfortunately.
Oh, come on. It can't be that bad.
I was poorly on my birthday. I was like really ill, so I didn't enjoy very much this year.
Oh, that's not fun.
I couldn't help being ill, but I did my part to help make it feel better.
Yeah, you did. You should have sung though on that video.
Trust me, if I did, you would have deleted it before it was over.
Who's beating the cat? Oh my gosh.
So, Kel, why don't you tell us some about Geordie Supernatural Research?
But basically, it we're based in the northeast of England, so we're classed as Geordies. So that's where we get the name from. I'm the lead of the paranormal team. It consists of myself and my best friend Leslie, and my tech guy Simon, who's been off a little while as well. But yeah, it's just basically the same as what everybody else does. We go to different locations, trying to gather evidence on the supernatural or the paranormal. Or so we're just, like I say, we're based northeast of England, so there's quite a few places of like historical interest up here that we're like going to. It's fun. You'll have to excuse us. I'm half asleep tonight, so my brain's just not working.
So, yeah, for all of you in the chat room, as we mentioned, she is in the UK, so it is currently 3 a.m. there. So, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, we really
No
appreciate it. The
No problem.
sacrifices that you make.
Yeah. Well, I'm used to not sleeping as much now anyway, so it helps.
So, Linda, I hope that answers your question. Kel and Leslie and was it Simon?
Simon, yeah.
That's Geordie of Supernatural Research.
Yeah.
So, what got you into the paranormal?
Oh God, I've been in the paranormal since I can remember, really. Just I think I flatlined when I was 6 years old, and apparently it was since then that I started knowing things that other people didn't know. I seen my first proper full-on ghost, I would say, when I was about 9 years old in a friend's house, and I was just obsessed, really obsessed by the paranormal. So just went from there.
Did it scare you when you?
When I seen the ghost, that scared us. I went running home and screaming at my mum, and yeah. So
But then it intrigued you.
It did intrigue us. That's where I started from. Really, I started like looking at books and stuff like that from that point. But even like as an adult, when I've seen obviously full apparitions and that since then, and it still scares the life out of us when I see them. So,
but it's probably more of an excited scare.
No, it scares the life out of us.
So you're one of those, you'll run when you see something?
Not necessarily. I have done twice, maybe 3 times. But that was like when I first started doing like obviously the paranormal stuff, like with the cameras and like the teams and stuff like that. But I don't run anymore. I cannot run anymore. Just sit there and like scream. No.
So who was the spirit that you saw when you were 9? Did you ever figure it out?
Yeah, it was a little girl who basically died in the house, a smoke inhalation. That's what the neighbors told us. So, yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
Yeah.
I gotta admit, I was kind of expecting either a soldier or a Celt, maybe, or somebody from like the ancient history times.
Yeah.
Not a little kid. Oh.
Unfortunately, I've never seen anything from around about them times. I've seen a guy who I thought was real. When I had a tattoo studio, I was busy painting the studio, and I was expecting the guy to come for fit the alarms, and my music on my phone kept switching off, and I was thinking that's a bit weird. It was keep going staticky. And as I turned around, there was a guy standing in the doorway, and I thought was the guy to come fix the alarm. So I'm like, 2 minutes, I'll be with you in a second. I'll just put this paintbrush down. And as I turned around, he evaporated in front of us, and I basically questioned me sanity at that point. But he was wearing clothes like he was from the 1940s. He had that sort of hairstyle and stuff like that. So it wasn't that like
that's crazy.
Yeah, I can describe everything he was wearing. It was so creepy. Like I've never seen nothing like that. Not evaporate. that was weird.
So I gotta ask, the person that was in the chair, how did they react to it?
Sorry,
The person in the chair. You
oh
said
no,
you were working on it.
it was just me. Obviously the
Okay.
studio was closed. We were just decorating it at the night time. My ex-partner had just like left to go and get some bits and pieces to put up shelves or something. And he was around the corner actually on his way back when he caught us running out of the studio. He thought that somebody had been attacking us or something.
Oh, wow.
And I refused to go back in on my own after that. But that was before, like, obviously I started researching properly into it. So
this was at your place of business?
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So did it bother you to keep going back?
I wouldn't stay in the building every night time on my own.
Yeah.
I always had to have somebody else there, but I wasn't the only person to see him. And there was like customers that seen him walking past into the corridor and would go out in the corridor and nobody was there. We think he was, because the building was a former picture house, obviously like a movie place. And we think it was like an old usher or something like that, or a man who owned the place, because we had music on all the time, and you would see the hi-fi like physically turning down every time we put rock music on. And we did get a team in the first team that I was a part of, and basically they got EVPs of somebody going shh like that. So that's why we think it was somebody.
Wow.
Somebody
So
do
he's
that.
still carrying on business.
Yeah, by the looks of it, yeah.
And
Hushing
apparently doesn't
everybody
like
up.
rock and roll.
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't like my rock music anyway. Not surprised, hardly anybody likes my rock music.
We like rock music. I like rock music.
Yeah, it's cool.
Wow, I'm learning stuff about you I haven't even learned from our other show.
Take notes.
Yeah, you haven't told me about this one.
Oh no, I've spoke about this on other shows when I was on the other podcast. I had mentioned this one. Yeah, I've had a few experiences like that. When I was working on the doors as well, it was a similar sort of thing. I was checking the toilets downstairs, and as I was walking back up the stairs, there was like a pop noise to the sound of us. That when I turned, and there was just this shadow like right next to us, like a human form shadow. And again, I pooped my pants, let's just say. Went to run away, and I fell up the stairs, face planted the stairs, picked myself up, ran back upstairs into the bar, talked to the manageress, like told her what had happened. She was like, "Oh, that happens all the time." I'm like, "What?" She was like, "Yeah, it happens all the time." We looked at the camera, and there was me. You could see me. Then you see the burst static, and then you see me react to this burst static, and then run and fall up the stairs. And basically, the guy would laugh out of that part.
Wow. Did they catch it on camera with you, or just you?
It was just static. That's all they could see is static.
Okay. Yeah.
So
That's
she says that every time it's happened, they've tried to like obviously catch it on camera, and it's always been the same.
crazy. Wow.
But in that same pub, basically it's got a Roman road that runs in the cellar. That's how old the land of that pub is.
Gosh.
Pretty creepy.
Yeah. No kidding.
That's super cool.
What is some of the scariest investigations you've done?
I was in another pub. For some reason, it's always pubs over here. Well, in the pub, and I was at the back of the cellar, and I felt something grab me backside. And like there was a couple of other guys in there, but they were at the far end away from me. So it wasn't them. So I told them what had happened, and I went out, and another girl came in. She stood in exactly the same place as I stood, and she came running out screaming. She was like, "Oh, somebody's just grabbed me bum." I was like, "Did they tell you what happened?" She was like, "No." I was like, "That's exactly what happened to me as well." So we had a little bit of a perverted ghost there. And there was another time when I was another nightclub that we used to work at. My daughter used to work there, so we used to wait until she was finished. And we used to get like coins thrown at me across the dance floor, and there was nobody else in the building. It was me, my ex-partner, my daughter, and the manageress, and we were all there. and so there was nobody there to chuck coins at her, throw coins at her.
Did you see the coins? Did you pick them up?
Well, my ex, he was very tight, so he picked them up, put them in his pocket, and took them home.
Were the coins from present day?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
God, that would have been crazy if they weren't.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But you could see, like, obviously, like a shadow flit from the different pillars and that, but it was like really fast moving. So it was really freaky in that place.
Wow. Yeah, that's kind of unnerving.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you said 3 times that you've run on a paranormal investigation. What happened that made you run?
Being grabbed, probably.
I don't know. It was just a sheer like shock, I would think. The one where the guy evaporated in front of us. I actually, like I say, it questioned my sanity. I thought I was going crazy, so I felt as though I just need to get out of there. So I just ran as fast as I can. Then there was the one when I ran up the stairs and fell over. And then the other time was when I first started a paranormal team called Ghost Investigate. I was in a big, massive hangar, and I was in there doing a lone visual with like a head cam on.
Mhm.
And I was shouting out, if anybody's there, please like bang 3 times. And from the back of the hangar, there was these 3 big, enormous bangs. And
Wow.
I freaked out, ran out, and there was a lip that overhung the door, and I tripped over and face planted the floor. Thought, right, nobody's there. I can just dust myself off and like get back to the team, and I did. And then it was a couple of weeks later. I thought no more about it, and then the team leader contacted us and was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah." He went, "Are you sure?" Yeah. He went, "Well, you really hit the floor pretty hard when you fell over, didn't you? When you ran away." I was like, "Oh my god." Forgot I had the head cam on.
Oh my gosh. It's crazy.
So what's your favorite memories and experiments to investigate?
It's basically the favorite memories is just like when I've been out with my best friend, when we've been investigating when we went up Bowlam Lake. Apparently there's supposed to be a Sasquatch up there, or a Yeti or whatever. So we went up there. It was just what we've got weird sense of humour, so we laugh at stupid things. So yeah, we get a little bit stupid sometimes when we're out. I mean, we do take it serious, but just now and again we just have a bit of a laugh and joke on. So
Yeah.
Oh,
you can't be too serious all the time. So, but like I say, being in the middle of a forest at like stupid o'clock in the morning, like just a bunch of girls and everything else like that gets like a little bit funny.
I can imagine it would probably only take one person to scream and then you'd all be done.
Yeah, and then it's a case of like obviously you hear like some big massive animal like walking through the trees towards you, and you're like, oh hell.
Yeah, like the sound of branches snapping or grunts or groans or
Mhm. Yeah.
I think it's more the idea that you're hearing things that you can't see.
Yeah,
And
it
so
was probably like a cow or something like that had wandered onto the forest and that. But obviously, in our minds, it was like one of them big, massive Sasquatch.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So what else do you do in the paranormal? You were recently, didn't you have a project you were on with the paranormal?
A project.
You were in January? Can you talk about that?
Basically, we were meant to be at one specific location that hadn't been investigated before. A producer got in touch with her and asked her if they could record her while we were doing it. And I got in touch with a friend of mine who's a psychic medium who's pretty well known in the UK, and asked him if he could do that night. So he said yes. Then we got closer to the time. And unfortunately, the venue started being a little bit iffy about going in. So I decided to not bother going. So I found a different location and took the medium there, but I didn't tell him where we were going. I just told him that was change of location, so he didn't have a clue of
That's
anything.
good though.
Yeah. And all my team dropped out as well, so that was like pretty bad. But at the last minute, I managed to get my old team leader to come with us as well to give us a hand. And my old boss came as well, so it ended up being a pretty good night. But the medium, well, my old team leader is one of these. He's very skeptical about mediums completely. So he asked. There was a specific like army truck that was in there. He went, right, if you can tell me what happened in here, I'll believe in mediums. So I've got it on like me phone. He basically turned around and he says, well, I can feel something. To something that happened to the face, as though I've been shot in the eye. And my team leader still wouldn't have it. He went, I want the exact words, what happened. And I'm thinking, the guy got shot in the face. He shot himself in the face. So he's just said there that he got shot in the eye. And he wasn't having it.
Wow.
Yeah, I love the skeptics.
Yeah, but like I say, he was spot on with it, and there was no way he could research it. He didn't know where we were going beforehand, and there's nothing like on the history of the place like that has that down. So you've got to actually know the place pretty well to know that. And
so did you know that there was someone shot in the face?
I knew, yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we've been going there for quite a few years now. It's called Nelson. It's basically a museum for land and sea craft, stuff like that. So I've actually got one of my videos on TikTok. There was a load of World War II fire engines there. And I took a photo in the dark because I could hear some like rustling noise. And you can see the outline of a World War II fireman with his helmet on and his suit on and everything like that. So I've got one of my videos on TikTok. That's what it's about. That was captured there as well.
Wow.
So, pretty interesting place.
And I'm just saying, if y'all check out her TikTok channel, she does incredible videos on there.
Which one are you talking about? Which channel? I've got two.
Well, the one that I from your paranormal one.
All right, yeah. That one's all right, I suppose. I thought you were on about the other one where I'm just like singing along to stupid random videos.
Well, those are pretty good too, but you know, being a paranormal podcast, I was more referring to the paranormal one.
Yeah. I suppose that one's okay.
So where's your dream location to investigate?
Oh God, there's so many. It would have to be the Tower of London.
Really?
I don't think they do anything like that. I'm sure they're not allowed to do them, but I mean, with the beheadings and everything that happened there, and like the history of that place, obviously it's been there since Roman times. Not the actual tower, but yeah. So
the grounds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's been some sort of castle like structure on that site since Roman times, and then the Normans built the tower. So
I know the tower itself has haunted like stuff goes on there, and they talk about it, but I don't know that they actually allow investigators because of what's stored there.
Yeah, you got the crown jewels and everything there, so no, don't think they would let everyone go there. It would be pretty interesting though.
Yeah.
So
but I think the Beefeaters would have a lot to say about that.
I mean, I've been there before. So like I say, I mean, I'm obsessed with history, so I love that place. The other place would have to be Hampton Court Palace, because there's meant to be like the ghost of Henry VIII and Catherine Howard and stuff like that seen there as well. So,
Oh wow.
Yeah. But then again, I want to go to America and obviously see some of your places that you guys have got over there as well.
We got some pretty good places.
Yeah.
But then again, you do too.
Yeah. I mean, just a couple of 100 yards up from where I live, we've got like Hadrian's Wall. So that's, I mean, I haven't like investigated, nothing to do with that. I don't think anybody's actually seen anything like Roman-wise around here. So, But like history-wise, we've got some amazing places.
Yeah, you do.
We've got castles just around the corner from where I live that I didn't even know we had.
Well, see, that's what I kept running through my mind is that when I see you guys post like these locations that are just like, dang, that would be awesome to go into some of those castles.
Yeah.
It's just like we really don't have things like that, not a lot like that here. We have other things, but
we have a few castles here, but they're all your castles that they brought over here and rebuilt. So we don't have any of our own.
You've got the old London Bridge over there as well, haven't you?
We do, actually.
I wouldn't mind going to see that, actually.
We like to steal other country stuff. Apparently, we buy
That's
other
usually what we do.
That's the best form of flattery is copying someone else.
Yeah, except the London Bridge that she's talking about isn't a copy. They actually bought and transferred stone by stone over the first London Bridge and then they built the new one. So we have the original here in America because somebody decided to drop a lot of bucks.
Yeah, I can imagine it was a lot.
And it's in the most ironic place. I think it's in Nevada, near a water park or something, or an island resort. They cross the London Bridge to go to the island town. It's like,
wow.
It's not where you would think it would be in America.
Oh my gosh.
So, hey, we have Brian's in the house.
Brian!
How's it going? But so, you've never actually investigated Hadrian's Wall?
Nope, not. And it's just like literally, like I say, a couple 100 yards up the road from me. It's at the top of my street. So,
man, that if I was there that close, I'd be there every night.
Yeah, it would be hard to not be there.
It's just trying to get some people to go with you over here. It's like everybody's got like jobs and like always busy and that. So it's like I say, apart from like my best friend and stuff like that, it's really hard to get people to go.
So Kell, I'm telling you right now, when I come back to England, I'm looking you up. We are investigating Hadrian's Wall.
Yeah, not a problem. I'll take you to a place called Winter's Gibbet. It's where they used to like hang people and like leave them there, like a cage type thing.
Oh, is that the pirates?
No, they're not the pirates. They were just like criminals they used to put in there and leave them. That's up in Northumberland. So we're meant to be going there a few months ago in the summer to do it then, but we never got around to it. But I'm sure there's plenty of time that I can get done this year. So
I'm down. I'm always down to go to historical places.
Yeah. Oh, there's loads, absolutely loads around here.
Actually, you'd probably get tired of me. I'd be like every night going, let's go here. And during the day, let's go here.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be like, really? Do you rest? I'm like, nope.
The only problem is like around here, it's like everywhere's expensive. Like if you want to like book for investigations and stuff like that, or other teams have got them for contracts. So like I try and find places where no other team's got, or
yes,
yeah. But I mean,
same here. It's it can get very, very expensive.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I mean, for me being in the bar industry for as long as I did, it's like I do know a couple of people that own bars, so there's been a few times when they've asked for it to go in, and that's when it's been fun. So it's not like actual like places that everybody goes.
That's nice, yeah.
So I'm willing to bet you though have a lot of cemeteries around that has super old graves in it,
monuments and stuff.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I mean, I grew up in, I'm not going to say the place name because it's like not a very nice place. And there was a really old cemetery there. And it's basically the kind of place that you have to be careful walking through, because obviously we had people down there. So, but we do have like a really old cemetery as well in the middle. I think it's Jesmond, it's called. They've got like a cemetery on both sides of the road. It's that big. It's absolutely huge. It's from like before the Victorian times. Then we've got another one that's got a Saxon burial mound in it. So that's pretty cool.
Do they let you in the evening, nighttime?
The one that's close at the city centre there, the one in Jesmond, they lock the gates in there. But the one that's got the Saxon burial mound, that's just like a little old village. So you can just like open the gate and go in.
Yeah. Wow.
So see, I'm telling you, Kel, if Carla and I were there, we would be stopping at every cemetery you have.
Every day.
Yeah.
We can't even barely get to one investigation here without going, oh, there's a cemetery you want to stop.
Yeah, we've been late to investigations we were hosting because we were stopping at a cemetery.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, at the minute it's like difficult to get to places and stuff like that because like my son-in-law, who's the tech guy, he's always busy with me grandson because my daughter's not being very well at the minute. So, and then my best friend's working constantly, so just trying to get time when people are free.
Yeah.
I've got that much equipment as well. It's like I just have to like choose one or two items to take with us if I go anywhere on my own.
Yeah. What equipment do you like using? Like, what's your favorite piece?
Oh God!
Like, if you can only take one thing on an investigation,
it would be my camera. Camera. I mean, you can record anything on a camera. So, I mean, I've got like a SLS, REM pods, so, key 2 meters, all that, everything. I've even got experiments that nobody else has got. But like I say, I mean, as long as you've got your camera, you can always capture stuff on there.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Best piece of evidence you can get on a camera.
That's pretty good.
Man. Oh, Linda says, when I drive by a cemetery that new for me, I always hear a hello.
Yep.
We always hear the words, come, visit, stay a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned some places you wanted to come to in America to investigate. Which ones are like on your top of your list of, man, if I go, I definitely got to go here?
Is it the Queen Mary, the ship?
Yes.
My granddad, he was actually crew on that when it came across. I think it was in 1920. I don't know if it was 24 or 27. So I'd like to go on there, obviously because it's got a family connection. We'd have to go to Tombstone, Gettysburg, places like that. There's that many. It's just trying to like obviously remember them all, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm
Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah, I think that's on everyone's list.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, Gettysburg. Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually talking with a couple investigators, and they were like, "Yeah, we've done Gettysburg and Antietam," and I was like, "You did Antietam?" They were like, "Yeah." I was like, "Man." And they were telling me where they were getting stuff was exactly where I was hoping to get to, is where they were getting stuff. And I was like, oh, yeah.
Wow. I mean, it's meant to be locked during night time or something, isn't it? The cemetery at Gettysburg.
It is.
Yes, Linda.
Yes, the Queen Mary is in California.
Yep.
And San Francisco, isn't it?
No, it's south, because I've been on there.
I know it's not in San Diego.
It's south.
But yes, it is in California.
Yep.
SB7. That one can be. I don't personally like it for doing the spirit box sessions because of all the static. I have a hard time hearing words from static.
You've got the same problem as me. I've got the SB11. And like I say, I just struggle hearing the words properly. So, yeah, have the same problem with that.
Now, see, my favorite is the Estes method, which I plug into the SB7. And the first few times I had it on, yes, the noise was just like, God, it's giving me a headache. But then I started moving past that, and now it's almost like my favorite tool to use.
Have you heard of this app? Is it Necrocom or something?
Mm-hmm.
Necrophonic.
What? Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
what do you think of that one?
Go ahead.
I would say for me, I don't know, because sometimes it seems like you're getting really random stuff, but sometimes it's like it could be, but it's hard to distinguish where it's coming from and if it's coming from a word bank or what. And so it's, to me, I don't like apps where it uses word banks, because I'm like, we're assuming that's what they're saying, but they may not be.
Yeah.
How about you, Carla?
Well, I just had downloaded it, but I use the Ghost Tube app over any others. I haven't really tried the Necrophonics, even though I have it loaded. I haven't messed with it too much. I know that a lot of people do recommend it and like it, but I think it's just a preference, really.
Yeah.
Ryan says we can hook up stuff to cancel the static noise.
What kind of stuff? I want the stuff.
I stand corrected. He says the Necrophonic doesn't have a word bank. It only has letters and sounds.
Wow.
So I may have to. Oh, he says you hook it up to a portal.
Yeah.
There was people that came to one of the investigations that we done in October. There was just random people just turned up, and the owners let them in, and they had that app, and I was at the other end of the bar, and it was started saying my name, which is pretty unusual, I thought. So every time they were saying, like obviously shouting to me, "Are you going to come and listen to this?" Is shouting your name, and it was keep saying that it was family when they were asking who it was. So when I got over there, it just stopped. But I could hear it from the other side of the bar, like saying something that sounded like my name. So
Wow.
I'm thinking if it was a word bank, how did it know my name? Because it's like my name's Kelly, but I don't use Kelly. I always go by Kell, and it was shouting Kell. So it was a little bit weird.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, if you were Irish or Scottish, because that's where the Celts really were at, I would say, are you using Kell because of the Book of Kells?
I've got Scottish and Irish grandparents. So
there you go. Oh, we got Southwest Paranormal says ACN mini hooks up to SB7 and 11 to cancel out the white noise.
SCN Mini. I'm
ACN.
taking notes.
ACN Mini.
Yeah.
Brian says the voice recorder is his second. I am starting to get into the voice recorders myself.
Yeah.
yeah, I always take one of them with us. That's part of me kit as well. So I just keep forgetting to listen to it afterwards. I've got like about 5 or 6 different ones I've done recently that I haven't even listened to yet.
Oh man, we need to hook up with Valerie. She has a friend who's making her a portal box to minimize static and recommend to take out the FM antenna from the SB7 that I have. Can I connect it?
I heard somebody else talk about removing the antenna as well, but I didn't know how the performance, how it affects performance.
She corrected it to when I connect it. She unplugs the
I've heard
antenna.
somebody talk about removing an antenna, like removing something within it.
Yeah, they probably do. You probably do need to remove the antenna.
Yeah.
Because that's what's picking up the radio stations.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. When I use in the SB7, I'm like, am I hearing the radio station or am I hearing a spirit? Because how do when they're answering questions and it could go both, it's like I really start to question, what am I hearing? Am I hearing a DJ, or am I hearing an ad, or am I hearing an actual spirit?
Well, in when I'm running the Estes method, I'm just saying words I hear, right?
Right.
And the people that are asking the questions that I don't hear are the ones that say either you're not making sense or everything that you said had nothing to do with our questions, or that there was a connection between what was being said and their questions. Because a radio station, I mean, you're not going to blurt out a bunch of stuff that's going to answer the questions or give more information that feeds the story necessarily.
No, I know, but when I was using an SB7, it's like I would hear a word, then it would be static, and then a word and static, and I'm like, I don't know if that's like the DJ, what they're saying is only it's really weak signal, so not coming through strong, or is that really spirit coming through saying like this? And that's where my skeptic mind is like, I can't say with 100% certainty, yes, the voice I heard was not a radio station. And so that's why I tend not to use the SB7.
Hmm.
Valerie says he sent me an instructional video on how to take out the FM antenna. It looks really easy to do. I can share it if you like.
Oh, would love that.
Brian says removing the antenna is easy to do. He says, I did a live Saturday night and did the Estes method, and I was responding to the questions asked. For example, when I was asked if there was a male or female, I said male.
Interesting.
Now, I will say, Brian, I have done the same thing when I'm on Estes. Like, I can sort of hear the questions, and so I was like, when they asked me, "Are you male or female?" I would say I hear a male voice or a female voice saying this.
Mm-hmm. I think I would have let them know that you can still hear them.
Oh, I did.
Maybe they should have went into a different room than you, because you can still do the same method.
Yeah, but I mean, when they're asking, male or female, it doesn't matter if you can hear the question. But when they were asking, like, were you, because it was in the Ballinger County Jail, and when they were asking, like, were you a prisoner, and you're getting like, I'd be like, I'd hear yes or something. I would have to say male this, and I would always call out what gender I was hearing, because I feel like when you just say yes, it's like, who's saying yes? But if you say, oh, I hear, a male voice saying yes, and you're in a female prison, you might be like going, who is this? What's going on? Whereas if you say a male voice in a prison when it's both, then you can be like, okay, were you a prisoner? Were you a guard? Which role did you play?
I agree with you when it comes to differences like that, because I know that when I feel like like an adult is talking or saying words, but then when it all of a sudden switches to like a child or something that sounds like a child, I'll say it sounds like a child. just because there's a switch in the narrative.
Right.
Yeah. So I agree with you when it comes to certain things to have to say, like someone's laughing or something like that.
I definitely agree. Like when it's like male or female adult versus child, you gotta call it out because if you're in a location where kids have been,
Mm-hmm.
you need to change your questioning then to kids when you're hearing a kid voice. Not you can't go up to a kid and go, "So did you commit murder to be put there?" And they're like, "What's murder? What are you talking about?"
Age appropriate questions.
Exactly. So Brian says, I've asked many times to repeat my name and actually get Brian as the response back. Definitely not radio. Now,
Yeah, it's crazy if you could actually hear your name, just like Kel was talking when she hears it, especially if it's not a common name. Then it would just be like you get the chills.
yeah. So, Kel, I'm going to ask a question that probably you're not expecting.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Here it begins.
How is our show compared to this show?
In what way?
Well, I'm just curious if there's like any difference, or if you're sitting there going, "Geez, this is just like my show."
There's not much of a difference, to be fair. I mean, I do most of the talking, I think, on our show, so I'm just like kicking back, letting you like obviously chatter on this time. But yeah, it's
So is it more fun?
I mean, we have a laugh anyway when we do these shows anyway, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian says I can show you clips that would blow your mind away with the SB7. Oh, I'm sure you can. Everyone has their own equipment preference, and I can totally respect you're using the SB7 and getting great results with it. And I'm sure if I stuck with it and got more familiar with it and everything, I could as well. So kudos to you, Brian, for using the SB7 and getting great results.
I would love to see the clips, personally.
Yeah.
We may have to bring Brian on to show him.
I think we should bring Brian on.
Yeah, you definitely should.
I
must warn you, I've co-hosted with him, and like you kind of go weird and edgeways with Brian.
The SB7 Whisper. Okay, that's the new name.
Just remember when you come on the show,
come on.
We're gonna be expecting that.
That's right.
No, we love you, Brian.
Yep.
You have an awesome network over there. We're excited to be a part of.
Yep. We are. We'll get you signed up.
He says anytime, so you know what that means.
Yep.
We'll be in touch because we're just now starting to schedule out again.
Yeah. Yep.
So, Kel, what is your favorite parts about podcasting with the paranormal?
It's just obviously talking about the paranormal, learning of different people, their experiences and the stories and stuff like that. I absolutely love that part of it. I never ever thought I'd ever be doing anything like this in my life. I'm very, very camera shy. That's why I'm quite quiet sometimes. But I decided to do TikToks a few years ago because I want to try and get over the camera shyness. So basically, I met Stephen Woodard and on TikTok, and he says, "Why don't you do a podcast with us?" I was like, "Not a hope in hell, not a hope in hell. I'm not doing that." And he managed to persuade us somehow to like obviously start doing them, and I started to enjoy them, to be quite fair. Yeah, so I mean, like I say, it's talking to the different people and hearing the stories is just absolutely amazing. It's mind blowing, some of the like encounters that people have had, and like especially like, I mean, I used to hear a lot of stories about like British people and their encounters and that. So obviously hearing it from you guys and like across the pond and that, it's absolutely immense. I love it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So your podcasting is you went from Closing the Gap to Paranormal Versus.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's right.
I'm the second.
Yeah. Poor you got stuck with me.
Yeah. Except it's funny is I don't see it that way. I was like, no. So it's funny story is Kell and I were talking while she was on Closing the Gap, and she was saying to me she's thinking about having a different show, and I was like, really? And she's like, yeah, but I don't have anyone to co-host with. And I was
Mhm.
like, well, tell me more about this show. And she's like, well, I'm just wanting to compare, you know, paranormal, like here versus somewhere else. And I was like, when do you want to start? And she's like, what do you mean? I was like, I'll do it.
Yeah, that's when Stephen was originally going to leave, but I ended up leaving before that, obviously, personal reasons. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
So,
how it
yeah.
happened.
It's funny how parent podcasts can be formed out of the strangest of conversations.
Hmm.
Yep.
That's right, yeah.
Brian says, practice, practice, and more practice.
Yeah.
Every episode.
Well,
I mean-
every episode, and I think he's talking about the SB7 too.
Yeah. I got told off the medium friend, but this is before he knew is that I'd be doing podcasts and stuff like that. And I was like, no. This was like 18 months ago. So there was not a hope in hell even back then, like I say. So he was absolutely right, though. He was spot on. I did end up doing them. So
Interesting.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, like, Stephen poached you. I met Stephen in Old Park, and he goes, hey, do you want to do a podcast with us? And I was like, on the network, and I'm like, I don't think anybody would be interested in me hosting a podcast. So I said no, and then like some time passed, and he's like, so what are your thoughts about the podcast now? And I was like, I really don't know. I really don't feel. He's like, dude, you have so much to offer. I was like, all right, you talked me into it. Now here I am with two.
That's when I got texted. Carla.
Yeah. I was like, Carla was like talking about what can I do, and I was like, Carla, I got the deal for you.
I'm scared.
Oh, Brian corrected me. It was about the podcasting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Practice.
Yeah, see, it's helped with me like obviously me camera shyness a little bit. At least I can get a sentence out now without like feeling embarrassed. So
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I always enjoy our shows, and I enjoy this podcast and all of our guests and the guests that we have on ours.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fun.
You learn something new.
Yeah.
Every single one from every guest, you learn something new. I have stacks of notes from all our podcasts, it seems like.
Yeah.
You just are always learning.
And then every once in a while she'll text me and go, we need to try this. And I'll be like, that was just on the show. And she's like, yep.
Yeah.
So since I'm hosting this show, Kel, we get to do something totally shameless. We have a show on Thursday.
Do it? Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Who's going to be on?
My favorite person I loved to interview was Mike Heston Rogers. But like I say, I mean, you're going to have to do all the questions because you cannot understand a word I say.
Oh, that's fine. So for those of you who don't recognize the name, you'll probably recognize the movie he's attached to. and that is Fire in the Sky. He was
Yeah.
in the truck, so that'll be exciting to get to hear his side. Brian says, now we have to get you to do a North American accent. Well,
Who,
that's
me?
The
Brian,
expression
because
on her face was priceless.
so I'm going to put this to you, Brian, as to which North American accent, because, you know, we have a lot. Which one are you looking for her to do?
I can't even do my own accent half of the time, let alone North American one.
How about North Texas?
Yeah, I'm going hoping
Have a
hell.
little bit of a twang.
No, I can't do accents. I'm absolutely rubbish at them.
Oh, Brian, he's laughing at us. He's like Canadian.
I do know Canadians say a boot or something like that. About
do.
a boat.
It's a
Something
boot.
like that.
About
A boot.
They're a boot
A
to do
boot.
this, and
Yeah. That sounds a little bit like Geordie because we say a boot. Like, I'm getting a boot there.
about.
So
the
very similar.
other thing that Canadians are really famous for, and Brian's probably gonna laugh at me for saying this, is they put "hey" at the end of at the end of their sentences.
Yeah.
They'll be like, "We're a
Hey.
boot to get there, eh?"
Nobody's had their diversity training yet.
We're podcasters. We can
That's
do
right.
this. Nobody's using our shows as educational tools.
Thank God.
Although that would be hilarious to see some countries like, so we're going to teach you English. Here, watch this podcast show.
Y'all.
Yeah, me and Stephen done a show once where me and my best friend were talking in our dialect, and I think it was Chrissy that was on the show, and she had to try and guess what we were saying. She didn't have a clue. She was like really confused.
Oh, you guys outspoke the Listen Queen?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Dang.
I didn't think that was possible.
Yeah. She, like I say, she just had this look of bewilderment on her face. She was just so confused. She didn't know what the hell we were saying.
So Brian says that's most Eastern people doing that, like Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick area, doing the A. Hey, Anthony. So he's the Texas Wraith Hunters, isn't that their name? I know it's Texas Wraith something. So
Yeah.
give us, Anthony, if we got your name wrong. We got 2/3 of it, so you know we're getting there.
Actually, I've got a question for you guys. Obviously, you've seen the news about these things that's been like shut down out the sky over America and Canada and Alaska. What's your thoughts on it? Do you think it's UFOs, or do you think it's a cover-up or Chinese balloons?
I'm gonna let Carla go first.
I don't think it's Chinese balloons. I do think that they're buying time to cover up stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
And then they're telling us, oh, you know, we tweaked our sensitivity on our radar and now we're picking up stuff that we didn't used to. And it's just like, you guys know way more than what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right, Michael. What you gonna do?
How much time do I have for this answer? No,
Texas Wraith Hunters.
Yep, I was right. And the Wraith World podcast.
Yep.
So the things in the air, I would say, are A, not UFOs. B, not a Chinese spy balloon. C, I would say, when they say it's unidentified, I call BS because they said they knew one was unmanned, so they obviously had to know what it was to know who was not in it.
Mm-hmm.
And when they say we couldn't see an object the size of the Statue of Liberty, but we know they can read license plates from satellites, I kind of feel like, yeah, I don't think we didn't see the Statue of Liberty sized object floating by. I think we kind of let it go by. So I'm with Carla. It's going to be used to cover up something that's going on so that we don't see what's going on here.
That's right.
Yeah.
Here, which is how American politics works.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What are you hearing
Yeah.
there about what happens in our airspace?
We're just getting loads of different stories all the time. I mean, obviously it depends on which social media or which platform that you're looking on. According to TikTok, it's alien invasion or it's Project Bluebeam. But like I say, it depends on what you want to listen to, really. But obviously, to me, it's a cover up. Definitely something they're trying to distract me from. That's what my feelings are. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's making it more difficult to conceal stuff because of all the media and all the technology that we have that we know how to manipulate and stuff, and it's going to be harder and harder for them to keep quiet.
Ryan says it's oversized drones. That is one mighty drone.
There's loads of people like setting off balloons and that at the minute and then taking photos of them and saying that the UFOs and stuff like that. It's just getting ridiculous now.
So you mentioned Project Bluebeam, and I could explain that, but it would probably get our show kicked off the air. Somewhat about what it is.
All of a sudden, the screen will scramble.
Yeah. We're gonna end the podcast, and Facebook is gonna say this episode is not allowed.
That's right.
To be aired
due to technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Wipe this one. And the sad thing is, YouTube would probably be right behind them.
Yeah.
No, but I do think it is part of Project Bluebeam.
That's what we'll probably get taught next. That we're being invaded and all that rubbish. So
I will say, for those of you who may not be totally familiar with Project Bluebeam, if you've heard the term false flag, you pretty much are going to figure out Project Bluebeam.
Yep.
That's all I'll say, because I like having a podcast show right now.
That's all we need is you to be banned off of a bunch of stuff.
I know. Poor Kell will be all let the load on Thursday.
I've never been like booted off anything in my life, not even like Facebook. I've never been put in Facebook jail before. I'm a good girl.
Yeah, I haven't either, which is surprising.
Okay. So here's the ironic thing. I have actually served time in Facebook jail
Texas
because I was networking and adding too many friends. So they put me in Facebook jail, which I was like, isn't that the very definition of what Facebook is about?
That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
They were like, you're in jail because you added too many friends too quickly. I'm like, this is what you're about. Why am I in jail for this again?
What, you meant to have like one a month or something? That's really networking.
Did they ever tell you when they put you in jail? Did they ever tell you why?
Yeah. They told me because I added too many friends. So I was on like a 2 week in jail.
But why?
I'm guessing they viewed because I added so many people that I must be a bot or something. And I was like, no, I was called networking. I have yet to be put back in jail, and I have friends that are in there all the time for saying stuff they're not supposed to say.
Yeah.
Oh, Brian says, I got a violation from Facebook for putting alien heads in a podcast that a ufologist was on the podcast. Yeah. Facebook is well known for, doing the really weird thing. Anthony says he got the same thing.
I can't understand why putting an alien head on the podcast would get you banned. That's weird. That really weird.
Especially when there's so many podcasts about aliens.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I don't understand.
And Stephen used to have one in the background, obviously inflatable one. So
Yeah,
Strange.
well, it's probably what the alien head was attached to. Also,
What was it attached to?
I don't know. I wasn't on Brian's show. I got him in jail. You'd have to ask Brian what it was attached to.
Oh my gosh.
So we are at an hour and 5 minutes. Actually, almost 6 minutes. So where can everyone find you, Kel?
Probably in my bed at this time in the
I
morning.
was just gonna say she's gonna stay in bed. Past time.
On social media.
I'm on Facebook under Kell Ridley. I've got a page called Geordie Supernatural Research. On TikTok, under Paranormal Kell, or the other one, which is just my name. And I'm on YouTube, but I think it's just under Paranormal Kell 1. I think. I can't remember. It's too early in the morning for us to remember anything. On our podcast on every other Thursday on Paralanx and Parapost called what's the show called again?
We do that all the time. It's like
Paranormal Versus.
I'm like, read the banner, Kel.
I'm half asleep. It's like after 4.
Like, hang on.
I can't function.
No, it's funny is Carla and I have been on interviews and people will ask us the name of our show. Yeah, we'll look at each other. We're like,
There's this long pause, and it's just like,
we're like,
I can't believe it.
then we'll start talking, and I'm like, that's it. This is the name of our show. Although, admittingly, our new one, I finally got our new show named down. I kept calling it a different one, and Carla sends me a banner that says, and I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm no longer calling it this. This is now the show. She was like, that is the show. I was like, okay, we're all on the same page now.
I can't even remember what the old show name was.
Exploring our secret past.
That's it. People, when you go onto other people's podcasts and they ask you, I'm just like,
Yeah.
It's so bad.
It's like, I'm not on that show right now. Why are you asking me that again?
It's like asking somebody for or asking them to or you to repeat your phone number. It's like, I don't call myself often enough.
Yeah.
Like, it's that text thing.
Yeah.
My number, whatever you texted me at.
Yeah. Well, this was a fun night. It was good to meet you, Cal.
And you? Yeah.
Brian
Definitely.
says the Parapost Network app, absolutely no violations. Well, there you go.
There's always a first.
Yeah, Brian, don't challenge us. We can get you a violation on that app.
Yep. Right on.
So, real quick, Kel, we mentioned Thursday's Paranormal Versus. What is Paranormal Versus?
It's Paranormal versus UK, America, wherever else in the world. At the minute, we've had somebody on from the UK. It was Andy Booth, and basically we've had on from America. I can't think.
Ray Savino.
Yeah, we had Ray on last week. Yeah. So it's just like the different ways of investigating and stuff like that. Different histories and wherever else that we're doing. So that's where the versus comes from.
Yeah, and fun fact is Andy Booth has actually been on our show. So twice. So
yeah.
He's a really fun guy to have.
Yeah, he is.
That was interesting because I didn't actually realize that he was more into the UFO side of things than what he was the paranormal. So I had a list of questions, obviously based on the paranormal rather than UFOs. So oh, damn.
Yeah, he'll do that to you. You'll be totally expecting one topic, and then it'll go very sideways, very far, really quick.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But well, Kel, it's been a blast, but I'm sure you're wanting to get some sleep.
Definitely. It's been a bit of a long day today, so
Yes, and I do know what you've been going through, and I do thank you for being able to stay up and be on the show today and be able to have some fun with us, which you really needed.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
So,
It'll be fun to have you back too.
Yeah. I'll come back, yeah, when I've had some sleep at some point.
Yeah.
all right, well, you gonna send us off, Carla?
Us or Kel? Yes.
I figure us. I mean, Kel can.
Brian, my kitchen is always clean.
Yeah.
Believe me, Brian, that is the cleanest kitchen you will ever find on a podcast show.
That's
Mhm.
funny.
Yeah. But at least my dog's not walking around this time and knocking the camera off and everything like what was on the show I was doing with Brian that time. So
Oh no. It's probably in bed.
Well, then the cat.
I've locked her out. I've put the chair next to the door so she can't get through. So
Yeah, but you also got your high cat running around somewhere.
oh god, the cat's stoned, yeah. I think she's just like curled up and fell asleep somewhere. So yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
all right, so what do we have in store for every? Hey, Steven made it.
Good night.
Bit late, aren't you?
I don't understand why you had the microwave faced that way.
Because there's a wall behind it.
Oh, rather than like diagonal, like because it's in a corner.
I like Anthony. Are you screenshotting and zooming in, Brian?
Yeah, it probably is. It's probably making sure I haven't got any crumbs or nothing on my counters as well.
Oh, gosh.
Oh,
That's so funny.
oh,
I probably
everyone.
actually have, actually.
Oh, he says when you open the door, it'll hit the wall.
No, it opens the other side. Well, yeah, it does hit the wall when I open it fully. Yeah.
I can't believe we're talking about microwave ovens.
I like Steven. He came in with Jesus and he's still saying Jesus. We're talking about microwaves now.
Yeah, very paranormal.
Oh my gosh.
No, actually, it'd be hilarious as hell if the microwave popped open right now. We'd all.
Oh, don't scare like that.
No, there's nothing in this house. No, definitely not. This is the only house I actually felt safe in. The last house I lived in was haunted as hell. It was like 300-year-old converted barn. Oh god, the stuff that went on there. That's the reason why I moved for. Because I was like, I'm not living in that house on my own.
That's crazy.
I don't blame you.
All righty. We gotta let Kel go back to bed or to bed.
To bed. I haven't been to bed yet.
Oh no.
Well, Steven, since you were doing that, I guess we'll forgive you.
Valentine's Day, what the hell's that? Not heard of it.
Oh, he was doing Valentine's Day stuff.
Oh,
That's a good excuse.
yeah.
All right.
Well, I'm glad we ran late for you to pop on, Steven, and make an appearance.
All right,
So-
Michael.
All right, so for everyone, that's the end of our episode with Kel. Stay tuned next week when our guest is. Who was our guest next week?
Karina.
Karina Hull. We met her in Jefferson.
We did at a bar.
Yes, Steven. I wouldn't. I do know exactly what you're saying.
Good night, Brian. We'll get you on the calendar.
Yep. We'll be in touch, Brian and Steven. We'll be in touch with you. We have a couple things we want to talk to you about. But
Yeah.
Say hi to Crystal for me, Steven. She is awesome.
Yeah.
You were lucky with that one. Or maybe she was the lucky one. I don't know. Time will tell. But so stay tuned next week as we talk with Karina and see what's going on with her.
Yep.
So happy Valentine's Day from our show to y'all.
Yep. And thank you for listening.
Thank you again, Kell, for staying up and chatting with us tonight. I know it was
Not
a
a
rough
problem.
All right.
Fun.
Everyone have a good night.
I gotta show this.
What?
That's true.
Valentine's was created by women to torture men. Okay, everyone.
Gosh.
Good night.
All right.
You're gonna go
Have a good
investigate.
Good night.
Good night.
Investigate safely and have fun.